Friends, now you can check out this video when the concept of integration and concept of deep sense of understanding and the purpose of a common goal when you are trying to achieve something in life, for that matter society, your office or any other activity you do it. What is more important? Integration, when I say integration, the common people over here, the minds. Now here in this situation, their objective, you have given some foods over here. See, there are so many crows, so many pigeons, so many small birds. They're coming together and trying to have the food. Nobody is fighting with each other. They are not fighting among themselves. And everybody is trying to get an opportunity to have food. Here, in case of animals or birds, whatever you say, they are very much disciplined and they don't get into fight. They don't get into very intellectual debate or discussion. The objective is to have food. Here is everybody, some are waiting for their turn, some are already having food, some are getting food. Nobody is grabbing each other. But as I have told you many times, that human minds are very, very complex in nature. Now in this situation, if you give or feed people over here, within the people, they will be fighting among themselves, they will be fighting for the foods. People will be trying to grab more foods and try to snatch away from one to another and try to accumulate them. The concept of accumulation is not there among the animals. They don't store it, they don't hoard it. They only think for the moments. That is a very kind of a Western philosophy, a kind of a mentality. Let us not think about tomorrow or day after what is going to happen. The birds are not worried about tomorrow what is going to happen because they have not seen tomorrow. Tomorrow they will see what they want to do. Here is the fundamental difference between the materialism or materialistic thinking is differing from our core concept of Hinduism, which is full of Mayavad. This Mayavad, again I am talking about especially Mayavad, is leading to hoarding mentality. Hoarding means individual with Maya try to form their own community with this Maya and try to grab as much as possible and try to spread as much as possible, try to deprive others as much as possible within the community, within the species, subspecies. There's things happening different among the community. These things are very much common, that is known. That's why you can see that in society there are a lot of discrepancy that is coming. The very higher middle class, lower middle class, upper middle class, poor, poverty. Some people are not getting access to many things, the basic thing, basic right. That's why what is happening, the problem arising when your basic and fundamental things are not provided. They try to raise and try to fight it out many times. In history you will find the same thing and happens time after time. They have tried to destabilize and try to throw out some establishment, brought new systems so that they get their basic needs, their demands. That is more important over here. So only the intellectual satisfaction is not the only thing. If you can do intellectual satisfaction or spiritualism, the bottom line is your fundamental thing, what you call it, your food, shelter, accommodation and health care. Those are very, very fundamental things. what happens to the birds or animal world? They have their own defensive mechanism for a certain kind of resistance, and they know from nature what are the things to be picked for their cure. Like cats, many cats, they know what herbal or plants to be eaten for their curing purpose. They have their own defensive mechanism, like not like our human thing, like there is not a kind of a medical doctor advice. Sometimes they don't take the advice from the doctors, or for that matter, they don't take advice or consultancy from various specialists or specialization, and they don't seek also advice from their parents that what are the things they need to do it. It's naturally selected. Friends, what I was trying to tell about, this is the concept of nationalism, internationalism. This can be a nice model to explain. For the history student, now these birds are just moving out. I think there are many reasons over here. Might be the foods are not enough over here. They will again come back if additional foods are given. It's basically a system, right? Whatever things they are getting, they are enjoying it, but they know they have to pick up or collect their own foods in their own way or defensive mechanism. If you analyze the whole spectrum of biological system, it works in the same direction. So one animal is trying to eat another animal, so they satisfy their need. But in case of humans, we are not directly eating humans, but we are exploiting. That is what it is, a indirect eating. It is nothing but indirect eating. Intellectually you are eating something. That is what I want to convey. Intellectual eating means sometimes this philosophy of whatever individual, you want to become a rich person, then you try to grab things, you bring kind of a dictatorship, monarchy, or zamindar system, you hoard everything, you deprive people. What is exactly happening across the globe? Why this percentage of poverty line is increasing? If you see the world's total population of 750, 60, 70 crores, out of that 5% to 7% people are holding the world's almost 80 to 85% wealth. They are the millionaires, billionaires and trillionaires. Now the question is, if 5% of 750, 60 crores population is holding the world 80% wealth, then the rest, your 20% will be utilized by the rest 90-95% population, which is a very kind of a dangerous signal. That is what is coming in 21st century. Now the question remain unanswered, whether this is a good thing or it's a bad thing. Society has to decide, philosophy has to decide, our aims and objective has to be very clear in that direction. We talk about millionaires, billionaires, or many people they have reached, and we highlight their things, but we never question them that what about your morality, or what about your wisdom that you contribute? What you are going to do if you are a trillionaire, world richest person? Does it make difference to a common person, a poor person, to know about this thing? It is not necessarily one has to know it. That's why our society is artificial. It's a mechanical way of binding things together and trying to project or portray something that, okay, those are the people, the world richest person, and they have their wisdom and knowledge, they could reach up to that level. But how relevant those informations are, how relevant those information, whether those things are going to help in building the society. Okay, no scientific research or no economic research that has been done, and nobody is there to question the individual credibility that how come a person is becoming so richer and how come a person is becoming poorer, and the society so much discrepancy are there, and how to create a balance. Here I am talking about the economic theory, the poverty elimination. There are many things one need to understand when I say fundamentally that your 80 to 95% wealth is being utilized only by the 5% or captured by 5% population across the globe. It is the same scenario. You cannot have a society which is uniform. That is what it is. Until or unless you put a break or regulation, otherwise this discrepancy will be there. World will be one world will be under dark. There is no light there. Another world there is a rosy picture. Now here is the question whether you want to highlight the rosy picture or you want to highlight the overall picture what is going on. Now my fundamental question is over here. If you analyze society, then if you have concern on society, then this aspect must be taken into consideration for a serious thinking. That is what I want to convey. I do not have anything against who are rich, who are poor, how much knowledge somebody is having. When a society as a whole you want to see, then you need to see the economics part. Now let me talk about, in context to that, the intellectuals in economic science, they give a lot of theories on poverty alleviation. So they never address these issues probably, that how the wealth is being accumulated by one set of people. They talk about the poor, the poverty line, how they can be given a lot of incentives, cash, food and everything. Now the question is over here, this theory doesn't work in reality until or unless you create job or create an opportunity or giving land or direct putting their hard work and earn something for their life. What is more important is distribution of your natural resource or land. Agricultural field is very important thing. Now in India, if you consider, the rich people are having a huge amount of land. They have, before 1947, they have come out from the Zamindari system. So when the Land Reformation Act took place, exactly what had happened, it is not been implemented properly because of that purpose, and there are so much discrepancy. There are a lot of laborers and workers, they work for the agricultural field. They don't own those lands. That is the most important part. Even if they don't own the land, what is going to happen? That one need to see that part very carefully. I wish the knowledge and wisdom of the economist, whoever is getting Nobel Prize, they should consider this parameter to write a new theory, what I have already proposed. Now the question is, where country or a kind of a political system, they are interested to adopt those things or not, that is the choice, wisdom, what they want to do. Finally, what I am trying to tell over here, India, if we talk about MSP and all those things, the pricing, right pricing for the farmers and everything, all things will be sorted out if you are able to address the basic few things like Land Reformation Act, giving support to all farmers in all angles. People are having access to land, agricultural land, to utilize its new variety development, many things coming into the future. So they won't be worried about what MSP, and they have right to also sell wherever they want to sell. In one go, your entire agricultural things, what mess that is there, the new rules they are coming, this how to distribute the food, what could be the pricing, all those things can be resolved with proper irrigation, scientific way, proper management. If you are able to do it, There won't be any problem as such. Those are things what the Kisan Andolan or Kisan movement is going on. This is because nothing but an artificial thing that is going on. Nobody is getting into the deeper of this problem and analyzing it. And already you have rules, you have already laws in place. You have to simply implement it. That nobody is doing. My question is very simple. In society, you make any kind of rule or any kind of uh, whatever things you amendment, you do it. If you do not implement, if those things are not in place, in force, nothing is going to happen. The same situation will continue for years together. Same thing I talked about the reservation, all those policies talked about the uniform civil code. The country has to be taken not in a very open mind and what is good for the country, what is good for the democracy that has to be implemented. Friends, early morning I don't like to extend this video. The reason is very simple. I keep on talking all those things. This is my own understanding and observation. Sometimes I feel I spend a lot of time and energy for this matter, but sometimes it satisfies my inner heart, like what I want to utter. Sometimes I feel let it release. I was going through a lot of biographies of Indian freedom movement, like Bal Gangadhar Tilak and all. The time of establishment of Indian National Congress, they have talked about the pressure cooker or pressure safety valve theory. What is that safety valve theory? Means if you have idea or if you have something in your mind, there must be some outlets and you release whatever your knowledge, wisdom you have, you try to spread this message, whether it is reaching at the right direction or wrong direction in the society. Because society, there are multiple ideas, multiple things. People are there to capture this idea or reject the idea. What is more important, to release those ideas. Similar way, in democracy, you have the ruling party, you have the opposition party. It is not necessarily that everybody is accepting what is the ruling party there. Obviously, the oppositions are there. It is sometimes 55-45. That's why you see that when change of regime is coming, probably some switching over is taking place in the idea level. So in terms of work or many other activities. Friends, today I talked about this nationalism, what is dedication, how to build the nation, economics, because society is a very complex thing over here. If you analyze critically the animal world, they are also surviving in this mother earth for millions of years without having any problem. But whatever small problem is coming, it is due to human. So I talked about the human chain and other things, right? No biological chain. Question whether you want to learn from the animal world, whether you want to learn from the biological systems or not. Those are the questions. Probably individually we are trying to analyze or understand few things. Life will be much more simpler, society will be much more simpler. Our problems, most of the problems can be resolved in much better way. That is what I feel, rather than doing the blame game. The blame game is not going to help anybody for that matter. That much I am very much sure. Once again, thank you very much. Early morning I have spoken close to 22 minutes. So I will come back to it different kind of video and understanding. Sometimes I spend, again I am feeling spending watching birds, watching nature, watching animal behaviors. So their emotions, knowledge and wisdom. It gives me a new direction to think in a newer way or newer form. It is not to teach the society. My idea is not to tell the society, look, you do it. It is just from my understanding. I am simply telling, even without script, without anything, I am just speaking. If anybody is listening, probably, I think many of us also similar kind of understanding or expression. Only thing I am expressing, there are a lot of people might not be expressing. The point what I want to make, sometimes it is not that important that every time you express or everybody should express. If anybody is finding that there is, I feel there is a relevance what I am speaking. Now if you feel there is no relevance, all junk thing, probably one can reject it. There are many ideas, many theories. Many people they have rejected many people. Your theory, thesis, hypothesis, there are many Nobel laureates they have rejected. So many great people they are rejected by the society on the latter stage of their life. They have been recognized. So there are many things are there in the society. Whether somebody is accepting, rejecting, doesn't matter, as long as this particular time you feel that those birds are enjoying their food and they are not fighting, they are in harmony. So don't bother about many things. You enjoy your life. God has given a small life to be rational, to be analytical, to be dialectical. Understand whatever chaos is there, within the chaos there is a symmetry. That symmetry one has to see that what is that symmetry, what are the threads are there. So again it's a dialectical thought process. Is a mathematical simulation in the environment, how the nature is always tries to reach up to the equilibrium concept, how the weather conditions is changing, it is reaching up to extreme level and coming down to a normal state. What are the conditions? There are a lot of mathematical formulas, there are great mathematicians, some Nobel laureate that have been produced many times, given their ideas to understand the weather condition, climate change, research, weather condition forecasting. There are beautiful things are there to read and to put your own idea and apply in the society what is more important. Once again, thank you very much. I could see the neighbors are feeding their birds food. Every day they do the same exercise. Sitting at other building, I usually watch everything. I nicely observe each and every bird, what they do, what kind of reaction they make, how one bird behaves with the another bird for the food, what kind of cooperation they do it, what they do it with different birds like intergeneric like pigeon and crow, whether crows are treating with pigeons in a different way or not, how cleverly everybody is trying to have their share. That is more interesting and amazing. Sometimes we feel that they do not have the knowledge and wisdom, they don't know anything. I feel they know everything. They are like a spiritual leader. Sometimes I feel these crows and pigeons are more or less spiritual. They don't speak. A lot of spiritual leader also, they hardly speak. That doesn't mean this fellow is a dumb fellow. Like that, those birds are very intelligent birds. They are living. I want to tell that, so it is very important to save them, to save the mother earth. Whole biological chain or supply chain has to be there, and they have the right to live and right to live with dignity. They are living with dignity. That is what it is more important. We humans not living with dignity. I'll talk about what is dignity, what is morality, what is ethics. That is a separate topic altogether. I'll come back to you. Let's enjoy their food, what they are taking. Thank you very much once again. Bye bye. Take care.